All right. It looks like we are broadcasting live right now. I just want to ask a question. All right. I'm going with natural light today. So if you guys are interested in natural light, or if you need more light, just let me know. But I just wanted to see how this would come out as far as natural light is concerned. But I want to know if you can hear me. So type in the chat and let me know if you can hear me or not. So I'm going to, here we go. Let me see. Type it in. All right, looks like everybody's, I can see and hear you. All right, thank you, Martell. I appreciate that. All right, so I think that might be a last name, Lacey Martell. Iris, all right, so hello from Texas. All right, yes, you know what? I always forget to do that. Everybody go ahead and tell me, let me know where you're from. I'm doing the natural light thing today, so please let me know if this is comfortable for you all. If not, then I can add more light to it, but I think it's more easy on the eye without all the studio lights, but just let me know if it's okay. Now, you might notice I'm wearing a short tie today. So what? I'm doing that because I know how to tie a tie. I know how to make it longer, but you know what? I wanted to see if somebody would bully me to try to make me change my choice, you know? But today's topic is going to be the bullied solution. All right, I got it up there this time today. Now, do you, like it says on the screen right here behind me, do you avoid the trouble? Do you run from the trouble? Or do you stay and do you fight? That is the question that we're asking about bullying today. Now, we're going to continue. I told you my story yesterday about how I did contemplate suicide, seriously, how children are being picked on and things like that. I'm going to continue along that path, but we're going to find some solutions, and I'm going to be asking most of you, what do you think the solutions are? Because you are parents. A lot of you have children. A lot of you have dealt with this situation before. Some of you told me yesterday you dealt with bullying personally as a victim, all right, just as I have. So I want to know what is going on and what kind of solutions can we get out of these three things we got behind us, because we can avoid it, we can run from it, which is the same as avoiding almost, or we can fight it. And there's different ways of fighting it, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and see who's from where and see what we got here. Now, we got Ruthie, okay, from Brooklyn, New York. All right, all the way across the country. All right, I see information. You are appreciated. Thank you, Martell Lacey. I appreciate that. All right, so from India. All right, so let me see this. It says Tulsi. Okay, it says Tulsi. All right, so I think that's right. Tulsi or Tulsi? I got to see. Enjoy your channel from the ATL. All right, DB. I appreciate that. All right, it's good stuff. So let's go ahead and hello from the UK. I think it's Zed. All right, it might be Z, but Zed. Okay, so thank you. All right, all the way from the UK. See, we're going to cross seas with this thing because that's how much it impacts people. So I am extremely grateful to see everybody online this morning. We are doing 8:30 every morning this week. So if you know somebody who is being bullied, if you know somebody who is actually in trouble, somebody who's going through a terrible time psychologically, you can notice this stuff, okay? They're going through it psychologically. That's what we want you to step up and put it out there, all right? Nothing gets solved by sweeping it under the rug, all right? You think your family secrets will stay with you forever until you find out that granddad was gay, okay? But I'm not saying that's the case. I'm saying stop hiding stuff. Kids are smart and they will figure it out. And when you don't tell them the truth initially, you know what happens? They start resenting after that. You don't want your kids resenting you when there's supposed to be a free exchange and love between you. So let's concentrate on that. I do want to concentrate on love solutions today. I wish I had some stuff that I could pop up here so you can actually love solutions. You can see it come up from the bottom. All right, but I'm going to work on that. But I just want to say thank you all for joining me this morning, and let's go ahead and get started. The bully ease solution. Do you avoid the situation? Do you run from the situation? Or do you stay and do you fight? You got to teach your kids to fight if they're going to fight, all right? Or they got to be really fast to get away from these bullies, because most of the time a bully is athletic in nature, or they tend to be bigger than the kid they're picking on, thus the reason they're picking on them. So I want to get right off the bat from you, so we can just open it up from there. I want to get some solutions from you. Let's say, and let me give you a situation. All right, let's drum up a scenario here. Let's say, for instance, you have a kid who is in freshman in high school, one of the toughest times ever in your life. You are the new kid coming into a school with established juniors and seniors who really don't give a damn about you. You're at the bottom of the totem pole, and you are a prime target to be picked on. Now, that's the case, boy or girl, doesn't matter, okay? You go into the school, all of a sudden, not one, but a group of 3 people, a bully and his cronies, start and target you to start messing with you. They're pushing you around, knocking your books out of your hand, pushing you down in the hallway. What would be a next step after your kid comes home scraped up a couple of times and they keep telling you it's nothing? All right, so I need an answer from you all about that particular situation. So go ahead and slap it in the chat over here. I need to know exactly what you think would be a feasible, all right, not textbook bullshit, a feasible way to get a child to actually open up and talk about it and start to fight back, or at the very least tell somebody if this is going on. Because a lot of times a child will feel like there is no way out, and that's why they kind of keep to themselves, because they don't see a solution. See, you as a parent, you're an adult, you see all the different avenues, you see all the different ways that this could play out, and you could take different paths. A child does not have those coping skills. So what would you suggest the kid do within the high school? I need some, I'm opening it up. Get some suggestions on what should happen. Upstate New York, I got you. Texas, I got you. All right, they're in there. So give me some comments here on what do you think should happen, okay? So give me some comments. All right, so we're waiting on them. Okay, good stuff. They're coming in quickly. All right, let's see. Let me make sure I'm all the way at the bottom here so I get everybody. Good. All right, so we see it. We gave you the scenario. Hopefully everything is still good. Everybody can still hear me, I think. All right, so we gave you the scenario. What do you think? All right, this might be a hard one to actually think about, because, and I hope, you know, and I'm hoping somebody has gone through this and has overcome it. Now, the only thing that I would say has saved me from that particular fate is I played basketball. See, when you can get in with a group or a team, I hate to say it like this, but almost like when you go to prison, you got to get with a team in order to protect yourself. If I was on the basketball team, and you know, you have that thing with basketball players where you don't let other people mess with your teammates, all right? Even if it's a football team, even if it's a soccer team, even if it's somebody else, they cannot mess with your group because you got so many people who are backing you up. So let me see here. All right, Nisi Major. Thank you, Nisi. Good morning. I love seeing you. All right, it says communication with your child on a regular basis. Nisi, you are just spot on correct. Your child has to feel like they can come to you to tell you something. If you're always telling your child when they have a concern, go sit your ass down, get out of my face, I don't have time right now. All right, all different variations of the same thing. But what you'll realize is that your kid will, in their mind, I know my mom loves me, but they don't care. So now that gets built into their subconscious. And when it does get built into their subconscious, all of a sudden, now you see there is a disconnect between you and your kid. And now they'll start talking to other kids about serious problems where, again, you're talking to somebody with no coping skills, and they won't come to you. And that's when life starts going downhill, because there's no real answers from another little kid. You know, they might give you a portion of what they heard their parents say 2 years ago, and you take that as solid advice. No. All right. I want to get to some more. I want to see if what kind of solutions we got coming up here. People were typing. That's what was taking so long. They were typing. I see the good responses now. It says, first tell them my experience and then talk about it. Then talk of possible solutions we can come up with together. I would be the mom in this scenario. All right, Bill, I completely agree. See, again, it goes back to communication. You and your child have to be able to talk to each other. And it's not, come sit down and tell me what's going on. It's not that. You're not coming to them as a disciplinarian in this sense. You're coming to them as, okay, I know some things are going on. You've changed lately. What is going on with you? And there is no judgment. There is no punishment. Whatever happens, happens. Even if you fought back and stood up for yourself, there is nothing that you're going to get in trouble for. So whatever you got to say it. All right. And that's a more comfortable way of coming at the situation instead of forcing them to give you, what happened? What's wrong? What are you doing? Tell me now. I'm your mother. I'm your dad. Tell me now. Do you think that works? They'll tell you what you want to hear just to shut you up. But then they'll go tell the real situation to their little buddy next door. Is that what you want from your children? I don't think so. We got another one here. Cassie G. All right. So Cassie says, please hit the like button for this awesome info. Thanks, Alvin, for all you do. Know what is going on in your child's life. Know who is in your child's circle. Absolutely. And let's see if you have a level of trust here. If your child is willing to come to you of their own free will and tell you who their friends are, tell you what they're doing, tell you what they're going to do tonight, what they got planned for next week, that's how you know you got an open line of communication. But if you always have to kind of drag them in, there's something about you that's turning them off. There's something about you that your kid is just kind of standing off about because they're like, okay, I know mom loves me, but she don't understand this. I know my dad loves me, but he's just a disciplinarian. He's just going to spank me or whoop me if I tell him about this. Your kids have to know without a shadow of a doubt, mom and dad has their back. And even though you're going to be on them for when they do wrong, even though they know they're going to be disciplined if they mess something up, kind of the ultimate is if your kid knows to put themselves on punishment before you do it, that's how you know you got good kids, because they know I messed up. I recognize I messed up. It was against everything you taught me as a parent. So I know I need to straighten this out. Okay. So that's what we want. And I'm loving this because it's really coming down to communication. All right, it's really coming down to communication. Now, it says if your kid doesn't feel safe talking to you, they won't talk to you. And that's true, because some kids, they are safe talking to you. And I love that point. Misty, that is an excellent point. But here's the thing. Even if your kids are comfortable coming to you, they anticipate the typical parent response. And what they'll do is they won't tell you because they know as a parent, you will go and try to handle the situation for them. And then it will bring the wrath of the bully or their friends down on them harder, because now they feel like they're a tattletale and the parents actually put it out there and kind of messed up, oh, he was just beating me up a little bit. But now that you got involved, now they're kicking my ass and beating me up every day. And now it's worse. So thanks, mom. Thanks, dad, for messing. That will happen. They will blame you for making the situation worse. So what you have to do is teach your kids, not go and handle it for them, but actually show your kids how to stand up for themselves. Sometimes that will include physical fighting. Sometimes that will include telling them how to verbally get out of an altercation. Sometimes it's just letting or walking with somebody else on the football team, basketball team, who is bigger, and befriending somebody or helping somebody that could possibly be a friend to you. That if you walk down the hall with them, nobody's going to mess with them because they know they're your friend. See, sometimes that's how you get out of a situation. See, we as adults, we can think of all kinds of situations, but kids, they're not going to think about that. They're not going to try to befriend a bigger kid who's going to be nice to them, because they think if a big bully picked on me, right, if I try to befriend a big person, they're going to pick on me too. And that's not the case. Everybody is different. I mentioned a Netflix series yesterday called 13 Reasons Why. And in that, there is a kid who is being bullied, but in that, the kid actually starts fighting back. And then they have another scenario with another kid in there where he actually befriends another guy who is tough, so nobody will mess with him. All right. So he's always looking out for if the star of the film has a guy who's actually looking out for him. So every time somebody tries to mess with him or do something, he steps in and he's whooping ass all over the place. Sometimes that's what you can do if you're being bullied. Okay, sometimes you can partner up, all right, and then you get with somebody where they, oh, wait a minute, he's friends with Greg? I think we need to rethink this, so don't mess with him anymore because we don't want to mess with Greg, all right, that kind of thing. But that's what happened to me in elementary school. So mine was inadvertently. I didn't go up and ask, but kids don't have that kind of approach to I guess you could say salesmanship, to try to go and try to I can't say manipulate because that you want a real friend, but to introduce yourself and to start getting to know somebody. And you know you have an ulterior motive, but you can still be a good friend on top of that. Sometimes you got to do these things. You guys know you do it. At work, you do stuff like that. You form specific alliances so that you can protect yourself, you know? All right, now I got another one here. It says here, bail or hire a muscle-bound uncle or enroll him in some kind of athletic discipline. Don't get the muscle-bound uncle, Bill. All right, so the uncle going there kicking ass and then all of a sudden your kid is put out of school because he hired a hitman. No. All right, so it says, sounds fine here, good. I'll get a refresh the browser. Uh-oh, bullies always look for the soft targets. You know what, Shelly is correct. All right, I said that yesterday. When you recede and you act like it's bothering you, or you cower when somebody walks past you in the hall and you just, you know, don't touch me, please, 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 don't mess with me, that kind of stuff. But if you walk with your shoulders back and you George Jefferson and you pimping, all right, down the hallway, it's very few people who are going to mess with you because you got swagger. And even if you get in a fight, they know you're going to tear a chunk out of that ass and you're not going to mess with me anymore. All right, now let's see, we got a couple more. I know you've only been here for like 3 minutes, but I'm going to sleep. It's 1:45 a.m. That's all right, Raphael, you've been here. Show up tomorrow. Go get you some sleep, man. Go get some sleep. Refreshed. Video is fine, but audio is gone. We'll refresh again. I think everything is working. So I got my audio and everything is coming out fine here. I see the little things going. I got my microphone going here. Let me know if everybody else can hear me on the chat. So just let me know if the audio is doing all right. If it's not, then I'll know it's another kind of latency problem on the other end. Okay, so good stuff. All right, now let's get to subject or point number 2 here. No weapons. Do not, and you tell your kids this, your nephews, your aunts, your uncle, whatever, who is being bullied, I don't care. No weapons. A sword begets a sword. If you guys are going to fight with weapons and things like that, now it's different. If the bully is bringing weapons and you know they're seriously trying to hurt you, the police might have to get involved. But I don't advocate if they bring a bat, you bring a knife. If they bring a knife, you bring a gun. I'm not, because you see how that escalates, and that somebody's going to get killed or hurt. All right, so we don't want it to go that far. So if it can just stay at these, that's fine. Kids are cowards, especially bullies nowadays, so they might try to use a weapon or something like that. And things do get quite serious. But I don't want anybody bringing weapons. I want you to, if you're being bullied, I would rather you become a can of whoop ass than trying to bring weapons because you can't defend yourself manually. Okay, do it with your hands, do it with your fists, but do not bring weapons to the fight, because that will escalate. And then, like Bell said, uncles, aunts, cousins, gang member sons, and all this stuff get involved, and all of a sudden you got people coming to your house with weapons and stuff trying to get retaliation for what you did to their big bully relative. Okay, so don't start that road. If you can't handle it with your fist, handle it with your mouth. If you can't handle it with your mouth, avoid the situation altogether. Go about it. I'm not saying cower when I say avoid. I'm saying if you see the person, all right, you can walk past them. Just don't look at them. But still with confidence, go on about your business. Okay, and that's what we need. It says fine, everything good, good. So we got good audio on most of the people. All right, so just try to refresh. Hopefully it kicks back in. All right, sometimes it's hangouts when we do these on YouTube Live. All right, so teachers told me to ignore the bullies. It didn't help. No, Misty, you can't do that, because sometimes when you ignore a bully, meaning that you try to avoid them at all costs, they chase you down. And I realized that on the playground, when you try to hide or you try to get away or you try to ignore the situation, that just makes it worse. So you do have to stand up for yourself at some point, because that's why I keep saying the parents, the uncles, the cousins, the big bulky relative who just got out of prison, don't call them to protect you, because you have to stand up for yourself. The only reason I suggest calling the police or something like that is if the bully is using a weapon, trying to use a weapon against the person who is being bullied. Okay, that's it. All right, so depends on how big the bully is or how many. You're correct, Shelley, but still we don't want to bring weapons, because no matter how many it is, it's still going to escalate. So I would suggest if they have a posse, you go build you one, okay? And your friends, even though let's say for instance, they don't jump in and help you if a bully starts picking on you, at least you have somebody there to kind of build your confidence if you're going to fight back. You know, that kind of thing works. Human beings tend to be stronger at the head of a crowd than they are alone. So take that mob mentality. It can work to your advantage if you know how to manipulate it. Okay, good stuff. Now it says there was a story in the news a few years back where I live, where a kid was getting bullied. He finally got tired and brought a knife to school and got off the bus, and he stabbed the bully. The bully died. All right, now that's what it's going to lead up to if you don't teach your kids or talk to them about what's going on. Because what will happen is it will bottle up and bottle up and bottle up. And one of two things are going to happen. They're going to go nuts and they're going to start fighting back. Hopefully that's the case from the beginning, not letting it build up. But after a while, they're going to go and they're going to snap. And they're either going to go one of two ways. They're going to go get a weapon, knife, like she said, like Misty said, or, wait a minute, was that Nisi? Nisi said that. All right, so Nisi, they're going to go get a knife or a gun, and they're going to try to protect themselves that way, or they're going to commit suicide. All right, they're looking for a way out. You cannot corner a human being, even a dog. You cannot corner a living thing and think that it will not fight back or have some kind of response. We don't want those responses, but sometimes there is nothing you can do about it. Sometimes mom and dad are so disconnected, they have no idea what their child is going through. And then when the child all of a sudden pulls out a knife, stabs the kid to death, or shoots somebody to death, and then or goes crazy and shoots the whole school because there were so many people that picked on them and did them wrong when nobody would stand up for that one person, then all of a sudden you wonder how the school shootings happen. It's a psychological mind trip as these kids are going through. So, and remember, they don't have the coping skills. They don't have the thickness in their cerebral cortex to be able to deal with these kind of issues like a normal adult would. And some adults don't have it. Some adults still have that thin cortex where they don't have many coping skills to get through this. Okay, so it says here, all right, it says when you're on the ground and 6 of them are taking turns kicking you in the head, it's a bit much. Shelley, you are correct. And the school should be stepping in with that. You see, that's incompetent administration. Okay, so no one taught me how to stand up for myself. Just telling a kid to hit back when they're weak isn't good advice either. You're right, Misty, it's not. So that's why I'm saying you have to train your kids to protect themselves. All right, so you have to train them how to hit in the right areas, of the vital areas in the body, in order to get somebody to leave them alone. You have to train them that if they get hit, it's not over, they can hit back, that kind of stuff. So sometimes, like Misty said, nobody teaches you to stand up for yourself. Nobody teaches you to fight back. That's what I'm advocating. you do have to train your children to protect themselves, because nobody did it for me up until a certain point, until I started lifting weights. And my uncle pulled me to the side, and my uncle was like, you let him hit you in the face like that? You let him do this? And he was like, come on over here. And he pulled me out in the field. Girls can do this too. You guys might have seen, it was a movie about gospel, about the little boy who died, almost died. He was brought back to life, and his dad was a pastor. And the little boy who got brought back to life, he actually saw God, and he saw heaven and all this stuff, and he could describe Jesus to a T, right? So the town people didn't believe him, even though they were church-going folks. Now, in this movie, the little boy had a sister, and the little boys were teasing her brother about being a freak because he died and saw Jesus. Stupid thing to tease somebody for, but you know, kids are dumb. All right, so they went ahead, and the little girl comes over there, all right, and throws the ball and hits one of the boys in the face, all right, with the ball. She walks over and punches the other boy in the face, and then hits the one that got back up, stuck him in the face too. And she says, "Don't talk about my brother," and she walks away like a G. Little white girl, right? Now, I love that in the movie because bullies don't get it because they never had it done to them. So sometimes somebody will stand up for you if it's your family, but in most of the times your friends will just step back and they won't do anything. So it's up to you to train your children. You see, it all starts at home. I'm not saying to tell a kid, whisper in their ear, oh no, you got to stand up. You got to, right at the moment that they're being attacked. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that the children who are being attacked need pre-training on how to deal with the situation. Okay. And if they don't, try to diffuse the situation by either leaving. And if they can't leave because the bullies won't let them, now it's time to throw down. And like you said, when there's 6 of them, you know there's 6 of them, you will have to avoid, and you might have to build your posse in order to make it safe for you to walk around the school. Okay, so administration should be alerted to this, because oftentimes they do have teachers out in the hallway who can actually stop and break this stuff up, but everybody's too busy to help. All right, so it's tough, it's sticky. I know it's a sticky situation. This is what we're talking about. This is where we're trying to get real solutions. So Misty and Shelly, they gave some good points when it's numerous bullies and things like that. Shelly, I know when there's 6 of them kicking you in the head, I understand that because I did have it happen to me. Multiple people standing around beating you up or pushing you around, kicking you while you're on the ground. Luckily I did have friends, and my friends actually did start standing up for me and helping me after that, after they saw that I got a little bit of help. But there is no answer that's going to remedy all of this all at once. It's just not. It has to be a better community effort in order to keep these bullies back. But the main thing, you have to stand up for yourself. You have to. Okay. This is true. I wish I had known Wing Chun when I was a kid. However, I think a group might not have let it go and might have may get you away from school. Bad banterer. All right. That is correct. Whenever something is in administration at school, and let's say, for instance, they do have good policies, they do have good security measures, and nobody can pick on you at school because the school is that diligent in making sure bullying doesn't happen on campus. Off campus is a whole nother thing. I also had to worry about that. The guys who stood up and protected me at my elementary school, they actually did walk home with me, and I did walk home with them to make sure nobody messed with me outside of school. Okay, so hopefully today people don't become cowards and start using weapons, because that's kind of in bad or urban neighborhoods, that tends to be the first line of defense. So nothing we can say that will justify what can happen as a result of using weapons. That's why I don't advocate them. Okay, it says morning. Mark Simpson, got your morning, man. All right, so bad banter. Didn't learn anything until I put myself in Wing Chun class in my 40s. I'm in my 40s too, so I might have to take a look into that. I think the real solution is that there should be more oversight. It is not an easy solution. All right, it is not, and you are dead on correct, and that's what I just have to say that. There's no one right way to handle this. Everybody has different situations. Sometimes it's more violent, sometimes it's less violent, sometimes there's more bullies, sometimes there's less bullies. But sometimes the victims stand up, sometimes the victims don't. It's a very complicated puzzle that you have to kind of put together. But I don't want anybody to think we have to put a system or legislation in place so that this never happens again. You can't. You're dealing with human beings. The only way you could do that is if you had a bunch of robots, like an iRobot, following every kid around, every adult who is being bullied around, to make sure that nobody ever messed with them. And if they did, the robot would step in and kind of make a resolution to the whole thing, and nobody ever got into a fight. That is nowhere near happening. Therefore, these complex situations where humans interactions are happening, that is has to be dealt with on a case-by-case basis. It just has to. All right. So I understand. All right. Now, last, okay, because we're already at 9 o'clock. My goodness. All right. Now, last little bit that I have for you guys here is hate bullying. I, for one, cannot stand to the side and watch somebody be discriminated against, fought, beat up, when it's clear that it's a hate bullying. You know what I'm talking about. When we're talking about, like, the idiot who drove the Dodge Charger into the Black Lives Matter rally, when we're talking about people who are bringing rifles to school to shoot all of the Jewish kids because they got something against them for their race, for boys who come and their parents are scumbags and they come and they treat little girls like dirt, even fighting and beating up little girls because they hate women. When it's hate bullying, it can turn into a whole nother picture. And I need quickly, I want your opinions. Why? All right. Would you step in if that were happening? All right. Hate bullying, is it any worse or better than regular bullying, where they're just teasing a kid because he's shy, or he just won't speak, or he tries to avoid everybody because he's an introvert? Is that worse bullying than somebody who's being picked on because they're black, because they're a girl, because they're disabled, because they're overweight? Is hate bullying worse? Put it in the comments over here. Put it in the comments. Let me see it. Is it worse? All right. So let me see. All right. So I see Misty Malibu said self-defense classes in gym classes would be a good idea, along with yoga and meditation. All right. Now that, Misty, that's an excellent idea. All right, that is an excellent idea. Now, Belle says it's just as bad. All right, so she's putting them on an equal playing field. And everybody's going to have a different opinion. Belle, I agree with you. I don't think anyone is better or worse than the other. You're picking on and messing with another human being because you don't have enough respect for that person's life to leave them alone. You see, I don't know if you ladies know this, but there's a code among men. You don't fuck with another man's property. Okay? You're not supposed to mess with their wife, their girlfriend. You don't scratch their car. If you have a disagreement between you and that man, you two deal with that amongst yourselves, you and him, eyeball to eyeball. You do not call yourself a man, have a conflict with another man, and all of a sudden, because you're a pussy, you go and you fuck with his car, or you try to mess with somebody in his family, stuff like that. You see, that's sissy shit. When you have a problem, you deal with it, mano a mano. And if you can't talk it out, you might have to fight it out. But at the end, you're supposed to both walk away and have that understanding that it's over. Okay? That's what men do. But see, we don't have real men now. See, when something happens to a man nowadays, they run and tell somebody. All right, when you get a man now, they run and do something to somebody's property because they can't stand up for themselves. We need you. We need you to be men. And you know what, women? We need you to be women. Make it civil if you can. But if somebody's trying to push you around, bully you in any kind of situation, this is for adults too. Kids, adults, people, any walk of life where you're being bullied or you feel like people, you have to deal with it. See, we want to run all the time. Take a look at this. We want to avoid all the time. We want to let somebody else deal with the problem. We want to call the principal. You want to tell your supervisor. You want to call your boss. Why don't you just go to the person who's pissing you off and tell them straight to their face, you're a douche. I don't respect you, and I would appreciate it if you never said anything else to me for the rest of your life. You know, sometimes just the direct approach gets things done. Teach your kids that. Okay? Direct approach gets things done. Let me know if you agree with that. I don't know if you agree or not. You don't have to. It's my opinion. You are free to have your own. Okay? So let's see here what we got. That is true. There are very few men around. So bad banter. You are correct. Diplomatic even. All right? So that would mean that wait, let me see. Humble Soul said that would mean that we as humans would need to be accountable for our actions. And that's where issues begin. Exactly. Accountability. Isn't that a nice word? When you have to take responsibility for your own stuff. All right. So, I got a nose run here. All right. Let me see here. One thing I have to admit is that now, as an adult, I would be afraid of being sued. All right, so I know the litigious society that we live in. All right, now there's an easy fix to that. Bad banter. I want you to become rich. Then you can hire all the lawyers you want. You won't have to deal with it. They will, and then you'll have all the money you need in order to deal with these problems. All right, people are like, "What? Become rich? Isn't that hard?" No, it's not. All right. I started running Facebook ads. You wouldn't believe the return on investment of those things. All right. So try it out. All right. So Humble Soul. Okay, we got you. All right. Nisi said, I agree. I like that. Tulsi says, self-confidence is more important, I think. Once you know you're important, you would do anything to bring those idiots in the light. All right. You know what? Tulsi, that is absolutely correct. You are, that was profound. All right. I love that. And you are correct. When he says self-confidence, it means that you're self-aware. You know who you are. Nobody can shake the foundation of what your personality is and what you believe. Okay, and that is what ultimately you want. But again, it's hard to get kids to go that way because they're not thinking like that. You see, I try to think more like a child because children don't have biases. They don't have predetermined notions. They're not afraid of most things in life. If you, let's say for instance, if you were an adult right now and I were to take a big old tarantula and put it on your hand, some of you would just freak the hell out. You'd be like, get this thing off of me, right? If you did that to a kid, the kid would look at it and they start rubbing it, they start playing with it. Some kids would put it down on the floor and start pushing it around. They aren't scared because they haven't been taught fear. And that is what, see, sometimes when you go out, you're trying to keep your kids safe, but what you're really teaching them is fear. Don't hang out around these kids because those kids, they don't act like us. They don't look like us. Parents install these things into their kids. And what you're installing is fear because now when you see that group of people, mom said that those are bad people. And you haven't gone over, you haven't talked to them, you haven't met them, you don't know what they're about, you don't know what their parents are like, you don't know their upbringing, their religious background, you don't know anything about these people. But your mom and your dad, they stuck a predetermined notion in your head and now you're scared of those people. They always, let me give you some examples, all right, stereotypes here. They say that Black people are loud. They have bad credit. They can all play sports. They can all dance. They're all well endowed. The men are well endowed. We're loud and stuff like that. They can say that all they want. But I guarantee you, if I walk, see, we're only 12% of the population. All right, it's approaching 13, but we're 12% of the population. If I walk into a group of Indians, I can find loud, disrespectful people who can play basketball, who can play football, who can dance. If I walk into a group of white people, I can find the same thing. I guarantee you there are more Caucasian people who like chicken and watermelon than you can find on the face of the planet of Black people. I can show you Chinese people with extremely well endowed sexually, right? And they keep on saying, oh, Chinese men and Asian men have small penises. Bull, all right? Stereotype. Stop feeding into this mess, all right? And that's what some of us are teaching our kids to do that. Now, the bullies' parents, we're going to talk about them tomorrow, all right? So, because I can't stay on too long here. Oh, I only got 5 minutes. Hold on, I got to see here. All right, so if you guys have any more things that you want to throw out there that you want to say about anything that we've been talking about today, we talked about bullying, the bully solution. Do they avoid? Do they run? Or do they fight? All right. We also talked about no weapons. We do not want to bring weapons to the fight. That is too much, too soon, and it will escalate. We are going to cause problems for ourselves. And last but not least, what we're talking hate bullying is discriminating against somebody and bullying them at the same time, worse than just regular bullying. Let me know anything that we talked about today. Let's find out. What do you got? Okay, so we're going to the comments right now. Let me lean over. Let me give my The Rock pose. Okay. All right. So let me see. Let me see. It says here, Tulsi, that's very true. Self-confidence, self-esteem is key. Parenting is also a major component. Bad banter. Parents are the ultimate as far as training their kids, and on both sides. All right. Sometimes I think the parents of bullied children don't have the coping skills either, which is why they teach the kids the stuff that they do. That's why they teach their kids hate. They don't know how to process and know that another human being is the same as you. And things like that. So I really do appreciate that comment. Let's see. Hey guys, Anthony, thank you for joining us. And then we got some parents can teach what they don't know and haven't been taught. Alvin, why do we wear ties? Okay, Anthony, I just like to tie. All right, and sometimes what I'm doing is, and I'm going to tell you the truth, I'm wearing the tie so that a tie company will actually contact me and say, will you wear our ties on camera for money? Truthfully, that's why I'm doing it. All right. So sometimes I wear the tie. I could go without the tie, you know. I could be a little bit more laid back, but I'd also add the tie because it adds just a little bit. All right. You can see my arms are rolled up. That signifies hard work. All right. That's how it's supposed to look on camera. And I work hard. I actually dress more dressed up than this, but the tie also signifies that you are professional. And when you're a professional, you get people tend to listen to you a little bit more when you have a kind of professional air about you, instead of if I was wearing a t-shirt, I'm not wearing the uniform of somebody who would give health information. So some people may not listen. So since I want more people to listen, Anthony, I just wear it just to, you know, so I get more people to come in. I don't bat as many people away, but I'm not too concerned about that. I just like to do it sometimes. And sometimes it's just for a play. So I can get like Mastriani's ties to call me up and be like, hey, we need you guys to promote our ties. So why don't you go ahead and wear our ties and only our ties, and we'll pay you $5,000 a month to do that. Would that be cool with you? And I'd be like, yeah. Okay, so that's it. Okay, it says, what about addressing the bullies' issues? They're the ones that need the help. All right, man, Mark Simpson, you are correct. That comment is absolutely perfect for what we're about to end off on. The bullies are going to need the help. Okay, it's not the kid that's being bullied, but we got to do it on both sides. You know what they say? Is it your fault or is it the burglar's fault that they walked in your front door because you left it open? You see, burglars aren't supposed to come in your front door, but by nature, that's what a burglar does, right? They break in your house. So is it your fault that you left the door open, or is it their fault because they're fucked up mentally? See? All right, the chicken or the egg kind of thing. All right, so absolutely, we have to consider both sides. But I agree with you. I think the bully and their parents need to be sent to counseling. And if they can't fix their problems, maybe they should be homeschooled and kept away from the kids who are trying to interact and do something with their lives. Okay, so here it looks like bullies. Is that a power tie? It's a power knot. I don't know about the tie. Okay, I said I look at bullies like the victims of rape who begin to start raping victims because they were raped. Most bullies are bullied themselves, sometimes by their family, parents included. It's most of the time the parents. I actually did some research on it. Most of the time it is the parents. And they portray that in a whole bunch of TV series and movies, and because it's the real thing. They're trying to put the real instances in there and the real causes of why these people become bullies. You're correct. Rape victims sometimes become rapers because they have been raped. You are absolutely correct. Psychological, it's called a psychological negative feedback loop. Yes, I know. Yes, but how long do they get to stay victims? Let's see. Humble soul. I think you're answering somebody else's question. Let me skip down here. It says, because they were just kids after all. We need to understand why they're doing it. Maybe they do it because they are frustrated, or maybe they're bullied at home or something. Yes, that's about the same lines as what Mark said. All right, so Tulsi, you are absolutely correct. I have to concur with your comment there. That is absolutely correct. We're going to stay on for a few more minutes because I'm loving these comments. I want to get a few more. I know I'm supposed to stop right now, but let's get a few more in here. If you guys want anything else to talk about, anything else with regard to bullies, these solutions you guys are coming up with, this is what we need to be getting out. This is why we're doing this series, because we need to start a conversation and not be referring kids to pamphlets to read or to take home to mom and dad so that mom and dad can look at the pamphlets and, oh, they said step one, we're supposed to do this. Remember what I said earlier? All the situations are individualistic. You cannot apply this situation to Johnny and think that it will work for little Lakeisha. It's not going to. You can't apply the one you gave to Lakeisha and give it to little Lahim. It's not going to work. Okay, so you have to take this on a case-by-case basis, and that's what makes it so difficult. Okay. All right, the teachers just allow it to happen. Now, some teachers, they do. When I taught in the public school system, high school, okay, Mr. Jackson, because I was one of the only male teachers on the floor, I was always the one they called to break up the fights. Now, I realized that if I kept on running out there to break up these fights because 2 students had already been shot at my high school. So if I kept going out there and breaking up these fights, Mr. Jackson was going to be the one who got stabbed or shot. So I said I had to remove myself from that environment because I didn't get into teaching to become a bodyguard, even though I could not be there and let kids get bullied, picked on, let fights go on. I couldn't do that. It's not in my nature to stand back and do nothing because I was bullied. I know how it feels. I'm not going to let a little kid be screwed over just because I don't got time or I don't feel like it. All right, I have to step in. So when I was breaking up these fights every day, I did get, scratched, bruised, clothes tore up because these kids are strong, right? They weren't stronger than me, all right, because I'm a grown man and I know how to handle myself now. But these kids, they're actually doing all this stuff, and some of them just can't. They just physically can't stand up for themselves. But I had to remove myself from the situation because it was messing with my well-being, seeing negativity every day. And that's why I think ultimately in the future, we're going to have to go to the state of robots patrolling and securing everything with regards to our children. It's going to be that way. I see it coming. If you guys watch any YouTube videos on China, you can see they have the androids. They even have the human-looking flesh on the androids. The androids are serving people drinks at meetings, corporate meetings and stuff like that in China. And we in America, we're so far behind them. Usually we're about 6-7 years behind China and Japan as far as technology is concerned. So they're always working on technology. We're always working on military stuff. So we're ahead as far as we can blow you to hell, but can we, what do they call it? Technologically advance past you? No. All right. So sometimes, all right, adults get bullied too. All right. Humble Soul said it won't change. Why not detention or suspended? So until someone teaches them otherwise, it won't change. Adults get bullied too. Okay. I see all your comments. All right. I like that. And here's the thing. All right. It says we need adults we can trust who will be compassionate and care and teach us proper coping skills. All right. I agree with you, Misty. You are correct. All right. Now it says we need unity desperately in the human race. There's so many reasons for different things. I wish life wasn't so full of drama for most people. I hope we can all heal from the bullshit fast. All right, I like that. So Martell, I really do like, man, I love that comment. We have a society that praises bad behavior, that too much influence on parents, and it trickles down to the kids. Definitely right. Love and hip hop, basketball wives, people support bullying without even knowing it. You have never said a truer statement in your life. I'm going to tell you, Mark Simpson, if I could stick a star on you, man, I would. You have to, Mark, I'm going to speak to that. I'm going to give you a real solution. And Mark just brought up the perfect thing. Turn off the damn TV. Your kids, I know they got smartphones. I know they got tablets. They can do it everywhere. But why help them along? You know you can still have television, have your kids watch television, and block certain channels. All right. I don't want my kids watching love and hip hop because it's nothing but fighting, nothing but arguing, nothing but dumb people talking to dumb people. And that's how dumb people solve their problems. All right. And I did use a term that was strong. Dumb. Let me go stronger. Dumb as fuck. That's how bad it is. All right. Now, all right. Oh, I see a Misty. True, true. Yes. Turn it off. Yes, sir. Now, the TV is the source of most of our problems. All right. If you really think about this, you're bombarded by drug commercials and commercials to buy this, buy now, buy later, save now. All kinds of commercials that are actually making or turning you into a consumer, and your brain never gets a rest. Now, when the real programming comes on, there is no real programming to make you a better person. The only station I have ever seen on television that has improved my life was PBS. That's it. Even the stuff I like to watch, like the business stuff, like The Profit and the other business shows, that the Shark Tank, that was it. When I watch those shows, they don't really teach you about business. They just show you the end product of somebody asking for money. And they're not even showing you in a real sense of how you would actually talk to a venture capitalist or anything like that. So the TV is a big reason why bullies actually take it out on kids, because the TV and the society, because they condone it. On TV, it's all right. It's shown on every channel. So I want you guys to tell me, if you watch television, because I don't watch it much anymore. If you watch television, tell me a station that has actually educated you on something that has improved your life. Name me a channel. All right. So I know there's like 950 channels, right? Name me one that has helped you as far as improving your life or your children's lives. All right. Let me hear a few. Okay. I got to get off of here soon because I got to go take care of something, but go ahead. Okay. Mark Simpson says CNN. All right. I like the series CNN. I don't like the station. All right. Because they are biased. All right. On one side or the other. But they do have special series like we're doing now. Special series where they actually do like segments of America, like Hispanic in America, Black in America, Jewish in America, that kind of stuff. So I love those series, but I hate the commercials that are in them. Okay. So PBS and Discovery, Cassie, right along my alley. So my kind of person. All right. So into the learning channels. All right. You're right, Shelley. Too many adult bullies on the loose. Anthony, that's right. Anthony, I'm assuming by your picture that you're built up and you look like a big man who can handle himself. Were you ever bullied, and is that why you lift weights the way you do? Just a question. I'm not trying to lead it anywhere. I just wanted to know. Okay. Okay. It says adult. Okay. I like it. It's weird. When I get depression later in life, the doctor said it was a hindrance to my mom. All right, Nisi, nothing. She said, I can't find nothing on TV. All right, now, Misty, it says it's weird. When I got depression later in life, the doctor said I was a hindrance to my mom. All right, I don't know. How would they know that? I don't understand why they would even tell you something that personal about yourself. You're supposed to diagnose medical problems. You're not supposed to tell me about my psychological state, especially since a doctor is not a psychologist, or a psychiatrist. So I don't know about that one. All right. So Nisi, I'm going to end it on that. Nisi said nothing. All right. And for the most part, that's what I see. All right. I even canceled or severely downgraded my cable. I'm even thinking about going to YouTube, because YouTube has YouTube TV now, where they have most of the stations that you will watch on cable. $35 a month. You can turn off the cable, and now you can just watch everything, even including your local channels on YouTube on your TV for $35. So I already signed up for my free trial. All right. I'm not advocating. They're not paying me or anything like that. I'm just saying it's a way to tailor what you want to watch so that you don't get bombarded with all this crap anymore. Now, I have to admit, it still does have commercials because they're just feeding the live streams from the networks into YouTube. So it still has the commercials, but at least you can kind of pick and choose what you want to watch. And if you don't want to watch commercials, just watch regular videos on YouTube. All right. I put out these nice shows for you all. I was trying to get more consistent, but I am consistent. I do one video a month. Okay. But I need to do one a week, but they're so tedious. So I got to get me a video guy to help me work on this stuff. All right. Now, all right. Marcus Macon, my cousin, just came in. Good afternoon. I was watching reruns of the Cosby Show on TV1. Martell, I don't think you could pick a better show with family values than the Cosby Show. Now, despite what's happening to Bill right now, as far as him being accused of doing all this stuff, I can't say I wasn't there. I don't know if he did it or not. All right. But as far as the Cosby Show, one of the most wholesome, best shows I've ever watched the entirety of my life. All right. It's that good. All right. I love the Cosby Show. All right. But it says, before you go, what camera do you use? All right. Are you talking about the camera I'm using for this? If you're talking about the camera I use for this, this camera is the C922 from Logitech. Okay, it's a webcam it's a USB webcam that you just plug in there. All right, and if you for my regular videos, though, I use my phone. I use my Galaxy Note 5 for my regular videos. So the quality is so amazing on the phone. I don't really want to use anything else because it automatically adjusts the light. It automatically focuses. So I love using the phone, but this has been a great solution. And I noticed that in low light, it actually works a little better. So do you guys, let me ask you this. From this video to my last one, would you prefer more light or would you prefer the natural light like this? Okay, just a quick answer before you go. The Alvin Jackson channel is the best. Thank you, Shelly. Thank you. I appreciate that. Okay. Oh, wow. Thank you. Yes, no problem. No problem at all. It says, will you cover bosses that bully their workers? Ooh, yes, Marcus. You know what? We're going to get to that tomorrow. We're going to get to that tomorrow. But I'm going to start, like I said, it's going to be 8:30 tomorrow. I got to go because I got some people coming to my house. All right. So I really do appreciate all of you. All right. I really do. All right. Wait a minute. All right. And yes, I was bullied badly because of my ADHD and do work out a lot. Okay. All right. Now, listening only. Iris said not watching, just listening. But Iris, that's all right. I appreciate you being here no matter what medium you choose. Okay. So I'm going to get out of here now. I've already overstayed my welcome by 12 minutes. It doesn't matter. I enjoy doing it. All right. Now, tomorrow, 8:30, we're going to talk about, let me get the subject. Hold on. It says, the parents of the bullies. And we're going to extend, because Marcus actually brought up a good point, we're going to extend that to bosses who are bullies. There was a movie, Terrible Bosses, that actually came out, and it was actually pretty good. One of my favorite actors, Kevin Spacey, in the movie. So tomorrow, we're going to talk about that. Remember, the parents of the bullies. Just be thinking about some things that we can do, to improve the parents, so the parents don't take it out on their kids, and their kids don't become little jerks who are bullying kids at school. I'm going to let you guys go right now. I'm going to get on out of here. I am just saying peace. This is Alvin J, the most passionate non-doctor on the internet. I will see you all tomorrow. Thank you for stopping by. I am so grateful. I'll talk to you later. Get out of here. Get out of here. Nisi, Misty, Belle, you guys go home. Humble Soul, Tulsi, Iris, Misty, Marcus. All right. Thank you all for showing up. Love it. Okay. Have a good day. I really do appreciate it. Talk to you tomorrow. Later. Here we go.